Hi everyone, I'm working on a longer video which I'll be sharing later today, maybe tomorrow. But I just felt compelled this morning to pop in to remind everyone that none of what is happening right now has anything to do with a virus whatsoever. Not the drones in Melbourne, not the house arrests of innocent pregnant mothers who care about their communities falling into tyranny, not the little plastic boxes that the parents around me are bafflingly consenting to placing their children inside of after they've been sprayed down with toxic pesticides and bleach, not the narrative that mandatory injected pharmaceutical prophylactics are the only thing that could possibly save us from this dreaded disease. None of this has anything to do with a virus, right? It's nothing to do with Rona. Rona's just the pretext, right? I mean, we all know that by now, don't we? And I'd like to politely request that if you happen to be one of the many officious, earnest, obedient individuals who've sent me one of the inane studies that supposedly prove mask efficacy, please stop. Please just stop. Your efforts are not appreciated, because if a scientist has indeed discovered through their scientific inquiry that wearing a little piece of cloth over your face is even remotely relevant to a positive reduction in the instances of a disease which has not been isolated in a lab according to the most stringent requirements, that would be Koch's postulates, and for which there is no accurate diagnostic because, of course, the PCR test is garbage and it picks up on all kinds of Rona cells, which includes the common cold and the good old regular flu, and which has maybe killed fewer than 10,000 people, it turns out, because, oh gee, it turns out we've been counting Rona deaths to be inclusive of those people who had on average 2.6 additional comorbidities, although how the hell could anyone possibly really know that, considering the fundamental inability to actually count any of it accurately based on the lack of primary data, right? Again, going back to the flawed PCR test, then that scientist claiming in their study that masks really do work after all is, I'm sorry, not a very good scientist. And actually, I don't need pretend experts to inform me that wearing a pair of underpants on my head or a little dog cone around my neck or a paper surgical mask made by enslaved black and brown people in filthy factories in economically abused parts of the world is going to make me safe. I already know that it's not. I already know that none of that is true. And how is it that I know? Well, I know because I can think for myself just a little bit. And I know because I understand that you can't catch a virus because viruses are material that a diseased or traumatized cell in the body excretes as a response to stress or poison. And I also understand that while yes, indeed, people are dying, and yes, diseases and stress responses and trauma responses and damaged cells definitely do exist. Absolutely. They exist because this is the world. We live in the world, in this fallible world, and in this world you live until you die. And in this world everybody dies. And in this world you have a choice to live until you die or to be the walking dead. And when I leave my home and almost everywhere I go, people are participating in this pantomime by covering their faces up. They're choosing not to live. They're choosing to be the walking dead. They're choosing zombification for themselves. And I'm not going to choose that for myself or my children. I'm going to live until I die. I'm going to live today till I get hit by a bus or shot in the fucking face. Whatever ends up happening is okay, because that's just what's going to happen, right? This is the world. No matter what, none of us have a choice but to be in the world. The only choice we have is how we respond to the fact that we live in the world, and that the world is dark and lonely and scary, and that diseases are present and possible at every moment in time. I just wanted to say that, just felt compelled to say that because I'm feeling really done with all of this. I'm feeling really done with the inanities of all of feeling really done with having to encounter people who don't want to think. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.